Okay, I've done quite a few of these. Some corporations, a lot of K-12 systems, schools and systems. And what you're trying to do here blows me away. I mean, I wish I was about 50 years younger. I'd come and see if I could get a job here because it's so exciting, you know. As I mentioned to Eric there, looking out that window, well, you too, looking out that window, you know, and you see all that technology out there, and you see the opportunities that are there for young people. And what you're doing here has impressed us so much with, you know, how you're working with the students and how you've been so careful to emulate the world out there for them. You know, they're in a situation. And some of the exercise, I can't think of that word, but like your app exercise that you're doing, you know, the application, and the speakers, yeah, that speaker was really something. I thought if she didn't get those kids' attention, right, with the topic there that she had chosen, you know, it was right on for some of those kids. But you're doing some incredible things for kids, and I'm just saying, why couldn't this happen in a lot of other places? And I like what you're doing with, you know, the contribution back to the community, the nonprofit stuff you're doing with schools. So you're not in it selfishly to say, we're here to make a lot of bucks on these kids, but we want to help you do a better job in teaching technology to your students, you know. So we were literally blown away, and you know, it'd be nice to have kids in this area able to avail themselves of this opportunity. You know. I think your connection with the world out there,
okay,
what's happening in the labor market
right.
data, you know, you're not teaching what you want to teach. You're teaching what they need to learn to
right.
function out there. And I thought that was very impressive. You talked about some things where you've got a whole curriculum prepared over here, but that's maybe the world is going a little different direction.
Yeah.
So it would be advantageous for you. You've invested all that money to stay here, but you're moving into the future.
Okay.
And I think that's what's important is your futuristic approach, as opposed to training people strictly for what exists out
Great.
there. And I love the thought that if a student goes through this school, that they can come back at any time in their lifetime and, you know, get the most current information at that point. In other words, upgrade themselves at no cost. So those are a couple of things.
Have you seen, is it common for you to see, you know, learning systems like ours?
No, not at all. I've not seen one like yours, to the extent of how connected you're out there and how quickly you can prepare people for real jobs. Okay. So I really didn't know what I was going to see, what was going to be out, and then so it's been great working with you.
Thank you.
You know, so accommodating, and I think you folks have done such a great job in getting all your materials and everything together. We've appreciated that. Okay. It's where we spend at least 20 minutes in the classroom. Each one of us did one of them, and it comes out rated on a 1 to 4 scale. Okay, and you ended up with 6 of the 7 rated 3 or above, and so the highest ones that you have of those 7 domains were high expectations was your highest. Okay, which you should feel good about. But you have high expectations for these kids and with the projects that they're doing. I call them kids, they're not kids anymore. And then the next 2 highest ones were the active learning environment, which I think that's you, right? And then well-managed learning environment. So we talked to just about everyone, I think that's out of that process then of observations, interviews, and then looking at the documentation you have, we tried to triangulate the data and come up with those themes. Key characteristics of your learning environment based on observations. Both Elliott and informal observations was the incredible integration of your use of digital resources into teaching, learning, operations. And of course, that one's kind of to be expected, right? You lead the world there, right? And so that's one that we want to acknowledge especially. And the other one is your belief system, your values, practices, expectations, and routines that define your culture, okay? And we wanted to, that was the highest ranked one, and that relates to standards 1.8 and 3.7, one being business acumen, okay? And the other one is the relative to your strategic planning, which is your continuous improvement planning, as we see that you're doing incredible, very noteworthy work in those two areas particularly. By the way, you had 32 standards that you had to meet, okay? Or that you had to address. And you had no standards that that were rated as needs improvement, okay? You had 4 of them that came out as emerging, 26 that came out as meet expectations, and 2 as exceeds expectation. So you gotta be proud. That's very high, okay? So with that, I maybe skipped through it a little bit too fast. What a pleasure it's been for me, and what a learning experience. You know, I wish I could stay another day or two and shadow some of your students and be here for your graduation tonight. I know. I think one thing that we came up with is, and you know this, is you're a pretty well kept secret. We think, you know, that you're too good to be kept the best kept secret. You know?
Okay. How long have you been doing reviews?
About 10 years. I retired, I was an assistant superintendent in suburban St. Paul, Minnesota. 125 of these.
Oh.
Yeah. But what a privilege to be with you folks.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming out.
It's my pleasure, believe me. Yeah, you're incredible people doing, like I say, I wish I could be 50 years younger.
Thank you so much.